Okay, we're going to take a look at the homework for modeling and solving one-step equations. So on the left side here, we have the variable, and there's one positive x, and we're just going to write that as x. And then we have the constant, and there's three positives, and we're going to write that as positive 3. Now it's going to look like x plus 3 in the expression. Then we have our equal sign, and then on the right side, the result, we're going to have positive 5 or just 5. So as we solve this, we can look at this unknown variable here. So something plus 3 equals 5. Well, if we do a little mental math, we know if we put in 2 there, 2 plus 3 equals 5. But we're going to start doing something called inverse operations or opposite operations. So we need to isolate and get this x by itself here. And so on the left side, in order to get rid of the 3, the positive 3, we're going to go minus 3. So we have plus 3 minus 3, but then because it's an equal sign, because it's an equation, we're going to do that equally on both sides. So on the left side, that cancels out the 3 positives, and then we are left with x is equal to 5 minus 3, which is 2. So in the model, how does that look in the model? So what it means is, as we want the variable here on the left by itself, if we take away 1 on the left, we take away 1 on the right. 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 3 on the left, and then 3 on the right. And so we are left with x all by itself, where x is equal to positive 2. So the solution will be graphed on a number line, and the solution is just one answer. And when it's equal to something, we're going to put a solid circle, and that answer, the one solution that works, is 2. And then we can just do a quick point of reference of 1, 2, 3 as a quick number line. So number 2, using the same thing, looking at the model, we have x plus 3 is equal to, the result is equal to negative 8. So over here on the left, we have x and something is being added to it. So in order to undo that something, we're going to subtract the same thing from it, but we need to subtract it from both sides. So now that cancels out. So now we have x is equal to, this is going to get students confused because we're at negative 8 and then it says subtract 3. Well, that doesn't mean delete 3. It doesn't mean 8 minus 3. We're already negative. So if you subtract 3 more, you're actually going to end up more negative at negative 11. So the solution is negative x equals negative 11. So if we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if we put the 11 negatives on the left side, and then you combine them with positives, well, you're going to make 0 pairs. So 3 positives would cancel 3 negatives, and then you're left with 8 negatives, and so that would balance it out. And keep in mind, when you graph negatives on the number line, they are counting down going to the right. So yes, it would actually go negative 12, negative 11, negative 10 as it's going towards 0. Okay, so we have x plus 6 is equal to 2. Here's our variable, and we're going to solve by doing opposites. So the opposite of adding 6 is subtracting 6, and we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So positive 6, negative 6 is gone. Now we are left with x all by itself on the left side. And so now there's 2 minus 6. You're at positive 2. If you're at positive 2 and then you minus 6, you're going to end up at negative 4. So here's positive 2, here's 0. And then if you go minus 6, you're going to end up at negative 4. You're going to pass 0. So here's negative 4. That is our solution. And then we have negative 5 and negative 3. So if we wanted to check our answer, if we put 4 negatives over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, if we put 4 negatives over here, that would make 0 pairs, that would make 0 pairs, and then this would balance it, it would be equal. So x minus 4, here's minus 4, equals 2. So x minus 4 equals 2. Here's our variable, x minus 4. We're going to do the opposite to help us solve. So adding 4 to both sides would help us cancel. So now x is equal to 6. And if we check that over here, 6 minus 4 would equal 2. So 6 does make sense. That is a good answer. So x equals 6, 5, 6, 7. These are positive, so we're counting up. And we have a solid circle for our answer. X minus 4 equals negative 8. Here's negative 4, here's negative 8, here's the equal sign, and there's our variable. So we got our variable on the left side. We're going to do opposites to help us solve. So getting the variable by itself equal to something. So x is equal to negative 8 plus 4. Well, you're at negative 8, and then you go in the positive direction, negative 8, and then you go positive 4, you're going to end up at negative 4. So you're going in the positive direction. You're counting up. You don't go all the way positive, but you get closer to it. So negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, solid circle. And if you checked your answer, negative 4 plus negative 4 does equal negative 8, so that answer does check out. So x minus 7, or x plus negative 7 is equal to 6. Here's our variable, and we're going to do the opposite to help us solve. So negative 7, positive 7, that'll cancel on the left side, but what you do to one side, we're going to do to the other to keep it balanced. And so now x is equal to 6 plus 7, which is 13. So x equals 13. Solid circle, and we can just put 13 here, 12, 13, 14 as a quick number line. All right, so on the front side, it was all addition and subtraction. So on the back side, we're going to model multiplication and division. So we have two variables on the left, 2x equals 6. So here is our variable, and we have 2 times that number, 2 times x. So if we think about it, 2 times something equals 6. Well, that means 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. But if we wanted to solve this, the opposite of multiplying would be dividing. And so we're going to divide both things by 2, and that would cancel on the left side. So now we have x is equal to this. X is equal to 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So second model, there's 3 variables. So we have 3x is equal to 9. 3x is equal to 9. Well, here is x. So we're going to try to isolate it, get it by itself. Well, it's being multiplied. So to get rid of the multiplication, we're going to divide it. So 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. And now this becomes our answer. X is equal to 3 divided by 3, which actually becomes 3. Okay, so now we have 2x is equal to negative 6. We need the variable by itself. So we're going to do the opposite of multiplying by 2. That will cancel on the left side. So now we have x is equal to negative 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. and a negative divided by a positive would stay negative. So that makes sense over here. If we checked it, -3 and -3 for each one of the variables would equal -3 and -3, which is -6 on both sides. So this solution does check out. X equals -3. -3, this is counting down towards 0. 0 is over here. Okay, here we have -2x is equal to 8. Here's our variable. It's being multiplied by -2. So -2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Negative divided by negative becomes positive. So now we just have x is equal to 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And there's only one negative up on top. So that would give us a -4. We have -4 as our answer. And negatives are counting down, going towards 0 to the right. So these were all dividing in order to solve. So x times something will give you your answer. So your answer divided by that something will give you your x. So now here we actually have x, but it's being divided up. So x is divided by 3, and this is also x. We have x, and it's being divided by 3. So here we have x being divided by 3. So how do we undo dividing? We are going to multiply. So 3 over 3 will cancel. 3 over 3 will cancel. So now we have x all by itself, and x will be equal to this. 9 times 3 is 27. So x is all by itself, and then 6 times 3 is 18. A negative times a positive would be negative. So x equals -18, and x equals 27. So you can graph it right here in the middle. Now, the way we can check this is to put 27 in there. So if we put 27 in here and then we cut it up into 1, 2, 3, well, that means each one of these would be 9, 9, 9. So 27 divided by 3 would equal 9, and that is true over here. And if we put -18 over here, -18 divided by 3 would be -6, -6, -6. And that is true also for the right side.